Hi guys, welcome back again to my kitchen and to my channel. This is a highly requested recipe. Now you guys have been asking me for all these vegan recipe and I'm trying to make you guys happy. So this is a recipe that I do in my kitchen pretty often, mixed up with like a Jamaican and all that stuff. So if you want to see how I combine my lentil beans with my bean flour to make up a mean complete meal, come on and let's get going.
Jamaican, here comes a rude boy Jamaican.
Alright guys, let's talk about our bean flour. Now this is the bean flour that I'm going to use, and that is a black eyed peas bean flour. Also, I'm going to be using my lentil beans. I'm going to add 1 cup of lentil bean. Now guys, with lentil beans you don't have to soak it overnight because lentil bean cook up really fast. So but all you want to do is make sure that you wash it really well, and I'm going to use 1 cup of that. What am I going to use to spice it up? Alright, I'm going to be using my cumin powder, and this is going to be 1 teaspoon of that. I'm also going to add my mustard powder. I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of mustard powder as well. 3 tablespoons of spaghetti sauce, half a teaspoon of salt. I'm also going to add 3 tablespoons of vegetable oil. I'm also adding a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, and that is what I'm going to be using. Come on, let's get started. So just want to make sure that you rinse that thing at least 2 times and then put it on the fire. Okay guys, we are moving on to our very first step. Now the first thing you want to go ahead and do is add 1 cup of bean flour, teaspoon of cumin powder, teaspoon of mustard flour, half a teaspoon of salt, teaspoon of cayenne pepper, 4 tablespoons of oil, 3 tablespoons of spaghetti sauce. Then you want to go ahead and add your beans to that, and that is your lentil beans. Okay guys, you want to work this in. Okay guys, so when you get it looking like that, you want to go ahead and get your plastic wrap. So now that you have your plastic wrap, you want to take the mixture out and put it onto your plastic wrap. Now guys, you want to fold this nice and tight. Now if you don't have plastic wrap, go ahead and get a tight container, and you just want to make sure you lock it up nice and tight. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this inside of my refrigerator. Now guys, this is best if you do this overnight, so that bean flour could soak up all that spice that you just had to it. Okay, don't go ahead and add your ingredients in and then cook it right after, because it's not going to come out right. So let it go ahead and marinate, just like if you was going to marinate meat. That's how you want to do this. So put it in your refrigerator and let it sit overnight, or let it sit for a couple of hours before you do anything with it. So I'll see you back in a few hours. Okay guys, we are moving on to the next step. Now my thing has been sitting there and getting ready, and it's really the way that I want it to be. See, when you let it sit for a while, that's how it's going to come together. At this stage, you want to make sure that you have your pot of boiling water on the stove. Make sure you have a pot going. So all I'm going to do is go ahead and slice this up. So guys, see how it looks when you slice it? That's how it looks when you slice it, just like that. So that's how you want to have it. So that's how it is when you have it. Just let it sit. All that bean and everything going to hold that thing together nice and firm the way you want it. So we are going to go ahead and transfer these right into the pot of hot boiling water. So here you have your pot with your hot boiling water. Make sure your water is boiling just like that. And you just want to go ahead and place it inside of that boiling water. So I'm going to let that boil for about 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes. And then we'll come back and then move on to our next step. Okay guys, This has been cooking for about 15 minutes. Yeah, 15 minutes exactly. And you want to shut the fire off, and then you just want to remove them from the pot. And then you want to place it on a clean paper towel. So that is what that should be looking like so far. Now we are going to move on to our next step. You want to make sure you drain that thing, let it drain a little bit. Alright, and then we're going to move on to the next step for this. And all I'm going to do is add just a little bit of oil in there. I'm going to go ahead and place them inside my frying pan. I'm going to go ahead and get those toasted up on both sides, and when I come back I'm going to show you the color, and then we're going to move on to the next step. I'm going to make a little bit of glaze too for this thing and eat it up with some veggies and some, you'll see. I'll see you back in a few minutes. Okay guys, now that I have achieved the color that I want it to be, yes, you can see right there, you don't want it to get any browner than that. This is a nice golden brown on both sides. Go ahead and remove these, and then we are going to use that same pot to make the glaze to put on top of this, the gravy I would call it. So I'll see you back. Okay guys, we are moving on to the very last step. Now in that pot is what I fried up my thing on both sides, and you have a lot of flavor into that pot, so we're going to use that same pot. I'm going to add my onions in, peppers, the green pepper, you can use any color pepper, garlic powder, seasoned salt, and black pepper to flavor, some vinegar, 2 tablespoons of spaghetti sauce or tomato sauce if you have it, half a cup of water, pinch of salt. Okay, so I'm going to let this come together and thicken up. And this should be done in 5 minutes, less than 5 minutes, 4 to 5 minutes, and this should be done. Just want this to thicken up because you don't want the onions and stuff to get soggy. So 5 minutes and this is finished. See you back. Okay guys, as you can see, I have my brown rice there and my veggies right there, and all I'm gonna do is add my meat into it. Right here. I hope you enjoyed this recipe guys. Give it a thumbs up, like, share. Let me know what you'd like to see me cooking next in my kitchen. And as always, from my kitchen to your kitchen, enjoy! I'm going to let this cook for a good 30 minutes on medium heat. Cover it up nice and make it simmer. And when it's done simmer, it's time for we eat. So see you back in a few minutes.
So this is in with your foundation, full coverage, you know, like bam. And last but not least, the last thing I tend to go for in my makeup collection is this palette right here. Let me show you what this baby looks like. It has a whole bunch of concealers. I believe it's $10 for this palette.